The Bobby Garland Itty Bit series became my favorite choice for crappie fishing. Today I'm going to talk to you about 5 different techniques. The drop shot rig. I'm using a 48 ounce itty bitty jig head. I'm going to run it up my line about a foot and tie a loop knot, and on the bottom of it I'm going to put a bell sinker, and you can get away with a smaller hook because the only thing it's really doing is holding your bait because all your weight's on the bottom. And I do a loop knot so it holds it away from the line and it keeps it in this position. And here I'm using an Itty Bit slab slayer, the bone white and chartreuse tail. And then here's your drop shot rig. And what I'm going to do is I'm getting almost vertical above the brush that I'm fishing, and I'm going to drop this sinker into the brush where it'll hold this jig just right at the top of the brush. This is a real good option for a windy day. I use my spot lock on my trolling motor. This extra weight gives you that feel where you're not getting slack in your line because of the wind, and you still have that sensitivity to feel that bite. This fish bit real light. That's the drop shot rig. We're going to do a double rig, and what I'm using is a Bobby Garland Itty Bit swimmer in mayfly color with a 48 ounce head, and then I'm going to use a 16th ounce Crappie Pro head with a sickle hook, and the color is a Keystone Candy. And when I rig this up, I put my big jig on top and my little jig on bottom. And the reason I like this smaller jig on the bottom is it's going to imitate the bait fish, about the size of the bait fish right now in the lake. This one and kind of imitates a perch more than it does a shad. So I'll give them 2 different options, 2 different colors to look at. I use it in the summertime when the fish are set up on the brush piles and then they're set up on the timber, and I'm covering 2 different depths there. I've got and 2 different profiles. I've got a tree here and the fish are suspended on the very top of it. I get the fast fall with the big jig, and then I have the little jig that trails it down. And at the bottom, when I stop the jig from falling, the little jig pendulums down, and a lot of times that triggers the bite, that real slow fall and that smaller bait. This one took the Itty Bit. This rig we're going to call the Itty Bits with a clam shot, and what I'm doing is I'm replacing the big jig that we use on the double rig with a clam shot. I've got a 64th ounce Itty Bit head, and the bait I'm using is the Itty Bit Slab Hunter, and this is the clam shot I'm using. Probably a little less than a 16th ounce, and I'm going to put this about 6 inches above my Itty Bit head. We're fishing off a point here with brush piles about 14 foot deep. We should be able to bring that Itty Bit right over the top of them, and they should come up and get it. All right, we're dock shooting Itty Bit, and we're going to use these Crappie Pro head doctors. These are a 24th ounce. And the bait we decided to use is a lights out Itty Bit Slab Hunter. And the reason we did this, we're going to be shooting under docks. It's in the shade. The darker color, they're not getting the light penetration, so we're going to use a darker color jig to get in there and they can see the jig better. You just push it up over those rings and it will hold that bait. That bait's not going to come off. What we do is we hold the jig with our fingers and we use our rod like a bow. We put tension on the line till the rod bows, and then as we let go over here, we let the rod do the work where it'll skip the jig up underneath the dock. And then this 24th ounce has a real slow fall, and that's what those crappie like under those docks. And it gives them more time to look at it, more time to go get it. You see how far this fish ate that. This is your classic jigging with the Itty bit. This is a Crappie Pro, the overbite sickle hook, 48th ounce, and we're going to rig a slab hunter Itty bit to it, and we're not using any other weight with it. We want that slow fall. What we're doing is fishing a flat with a lay down, and we'll just ease up on it and vertical jig straight up and down.